Hey folks, this is John Becker, State Representative from Claremont County, 65th House District, presenting to you today an update on the articles of impeachment. You might recall it was a few days ago, it was Monday the 24th of August 2020, that I announced a draft of 10 articles of impeachment, and this is an update. What you can do is you, the listeners out there, the viewers out there, go to ImpeachDeWinecom. Sometimes that website's not working correctly in terms of the what's called the URL. Sometimes it's ImpeachDeWine.webs, ImpeachDeWine.webs.com. Either one, whichever one works for you, use that. They're the same thing. It's just two different ways to get to the same address. I'm not sure what the issue is with that. So out there, the co-sponsors are Representative Keller, Representatives Zeltwanger, and Representative Vitale. And what you can do is go to that website and fill out the form, or you just send them an email directly. And our emails are the same for all of us. The only difference is the district number. So for example, if you want to contact me, it's REP 65. So 65 is my House district number. For Representative Keller, it is 53. For Representative Zeltwanger, it's 54. And for Representative Vitale, it is 85. So it's REP, then the district number, so 01 to 99, whichever it is, REP, in my case 65, at ohiohouse.gov. So send me an email, give me feedback, send my colleagues that have signed on to impeach the governor, that are standing up for liberty, send them an email thanking them. For the people who have not, then who are standing with the governor, you might want to send them an email asking them, and be nice about it, asking them to sign on as co-sponsors. Something interesting that occurred also this week, and I didn't expect this to come out the way it did, but in Columbus there's a television station. It's ABC 6, Fox 28, I believe it is, and they did an online poll. So you go out to their website and you can click on this poll to ask, should Governor DeWine be impeached, yes or no? 18,240 people responded. 18,240. That was historic for them. I'm not sure they've ever had a poll with that much interest before. And out of that, it was 83%. 83% of the 18,420 people who responded, 83% said they want Mike DeWine impeached. Governor DeWine impeached. They want him impeached. They want him removed from office. They want their freedom back. They are tired of the tyranny, and they stand for liberty. 17% are standing with the governor. So I want to tell you about some of the pushback I've been getting in describing it. So an interesting correlation. I hadn't thought about this before, but I'm not surprised. So of course I get a lot of hate mail, calling me four-letter words and such. But what I find is this consistent theme for nearly all of them. They hate me, which is fine. They hate Donald Trump, and he's used to that too. And they love Mike DeWine. So these are Democrats and these are liberal Republicans. These are the never-Trumpers that are sending me the hate mail and opposition, and they're the ones who are standing with the governor. So I thought that was interesting. So it appears there's this divide, if you will, that conservatives versus liberal conservatives and Democrats on which side that you're on with this. So, and of course that's not all of them, of course. I'm just saying that's that's the correlation I'm seeing based on the feedback that I'm getting. Also, that the argument is that, what they're saying is that, we're impeaching DeWine because he's saving lives. We're impeaching DeWine, for listening to health professionals. We're impeaching DeWine, for following the science. Well, I guess my question here is in terms of, how many lives is he saving? How many people has he killed? So, we got to have a lot of people who've had suicides. So I don't know how that nets out, how many lives he saved versus how many people have committed suicide because of the depression and the despair and the loneliness and losing their businesses and their jobs and evictions from their homes. The list goes on. This is who I've been hearing from for months and months, demanding that this impeachment goes forward. So, I'm not sure how that nets out. But regardless, I'm asked, what is this about? What are you doing this? It's about Governor gone wild. So, it's about liberty versus tyranny. That, we are a representative democracy, a republic. We are not a kingdom. We are a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So also, I want to tell you what I've been seeing in the media. I hope you don't mind me looking at my notes. It just helps me to keep organized. Governor DeWine's office. And so I'm going to read you a statement from Governor DeWine's office and from Speaker Cupp, his office, Bob Cupp, and also from Jane Timken, Ohio Republican Party, her office. So what that means when her office or their office sends out a statement, in all likelihood it was not written by them. So with our, those of us at the State House level and up, we have communication staff. Not that work directly for me, but work for, say, the House. There's policy staff, communication staff. They're the people who put this stuff together. So, for example, my chief of staff will write things on my behalf. He'll send it to me for review. Sometimes I change it, sometimes I don't. Whatever. So, so that's how it works for me. So whether Governor DeWine actually saw the statement before it went out, who knows? Maybe not. And same with these other statements that I'm going to read. Governor DeWine's office said in an email statement, Governor DeWine is focused on saving lives during the pandemic. He is focused on helping the economy and getting Ohioans back to work. That is what he is focused on, not this. Well, and he also said then have at it at a press conference. But actually, I think frankly, that was a good response from a man who's wanting to maintain his power. So, I get that. What was more interesting, though, was what I found most interesting was the response from Speaker Cupp. And Speaker Cupp is a former Ohio Supreme Court justice, and he's a smart man, very wise. He's deliberative, and so I know he didn't write this because he's a lot sharper than this. So anyway, it said, having now had time to read and consider the draft resolution to impeach the governor announced by a couple of members, it is clear to me that it is an imprudent attempt to escalate important policy disagreements with the governor into a state constitutional crisis. I want to come back to that. And then he continues. Even serious policy disagreements do not rise to the level of impeachment under our Constitution. Okay, so let me take these one at a time. The constitutional crisis is what I want to key in on. Okay, so what this reminds me of was back during back in the 90s when Bill Clinton was impeached. I think it was in the 90s, could have been 2000. What happened was the Democrats, his supporters, kept saying, this is overturning an election. This is a constitutional crisis that the Republicans are doing. I kept scratching my head saying, what? The federal Constitution lists, spells out the impeachment process. It's not overturning an election. The process is not a constitutional crisis. It is spelled out in the Constitution. So, if he's successfully impeached, meaning removed by the Senate, then he's gone and the vice president gets sworn in. That is the process. There's no crisis there. So, but in this situation, if you go to the Ohio Constitution, Article 2, Section 23, it clearly spells out the process for impeachment. And I have all that in the preamble of the Ohio or in the Articles of Impeachment. Read through the preamble, especially on page. Starts on line 60 and line 80. I believe it's on page 3 of the preamble, and you can find where I explain a lot of this stuff. But so my thoughts on this constitutional crisis. Well, the articles of impeachment that I have drafted, that is not the constitutional crisis. The constitutional crisis is what caused me to, or prompted me to do the articles of impeachment. The constitutional crisis is when Governor DeWine, ignores the U.S. Constitution and the state Constitution, the Ohio Revised Code, and cancels an election, and reschedules an election, puts 11.6 million people under house arrest, arbitrarily decides what businesses to shut down and when and for how long, and mask mandates and on and on and on. Now, is some of this good policy? Well, perhaps, but he doesn't have the authority to do these things. it's only a General Assembly that can do a lot of this. Of course, a lot of this we can't do at all because we're not allowed to violate the Constitution regardless. The other part of the statement then from the Speaker has to do with the policy disagreements do not rise to the level of impeachment under our Constitution. Well, yes, they do. If you go back and look at the Constitution, the history of the state of Ohio, and I spelled out all of this in the preamble, it's all right there, that there was 8 judges back in the 1800s who were all impeached for policy reasons. None of them were ever accused of committing a crime. It was all about policy. One was removed from office successfully. For several others, it was a close vote in the Senate. So just like the federal Constitution, the Ohio Constitution, yes, policy disagreements can get somebody impeached. When Trump was getting impeached, I never stood there and said, hey, the Democrats can't do that, and he hasn't committed any crimes. The House of Representatives, whether it's the Ohio House or the U.S. House, they can impeach for any reason they want. It's wide open. And that's why there's a trial in the Senate that requires a 2/3 vote. And that's why frankly, neither impeachment, whether it was Clinton or Trump, was successful. Then the last comment that was in the media had to do with a statement that came out from the Ohio Republican Party under the signature of Chairman Jane Timken. And I'm going to quote here. It is despicable, yes, she said despicable, that anyone who considers themselves to be conservative would make an attempt to impeach Governor DeWine. In a time of harsh political division and important election year, Republicans should be united, according to Ohio Republican Party, Jane Timken. Well, despicable sounds similar to the word deplorable. Remember when it was Hillary Clinton that called the Trump supporters all deplorable? So now you have, under the signature of the chairman of the Ohio Republican Party, calling all of the conservative Republicans in the state of Ohio who stand for liberty over tyranny, all of us are despicable. You might want to send Chairman Timken a note telling her what you think of that. So, why she thinks insulting the base of the party is a good idea, and that will somehow drive turnout to get Republicans elected in November, that's a mystery. But just for the record here, I am fully in support of the Republican ticket, all the way up and down, especially Donald Trump. All of them have my full support. I want to see every Republican elected in November. Then the last thing I have here is having to do with some of the comments that some of my colleagues have made. That, they're saying, well, we shouldn't get behind impeachment. That's a last resort. Yeah, that's a last resort. That's why we're here. And we should be doing this legislatively. Okay. My question is, and how is that working out? So, so let's take, for example, you got Senate Bill 55. That was vetoed by the governor. Why haven't we overridden that veto? Well, maybe the votes aren't there to override the veto. It does take a supermajority in both chambers, but it's a Senate bill. It needs to start in the Senate, the override process. That hasn't happened. So you might want to contact your state senator and ask them about that. And what about Senate Bill 1? That's in conference committee. It's a Senate bill. So the chairman of the conference committee is a state senator. Why hasn't that conference committee happened yet? Then once it's passed out of conference committee, it goes back to both chambers for an up or down vote. Then if it passes both chambers, it goes to the governor, and he has threatened to veto it. We'll see. If he vetoes it, then it goes back to us. It will go to the Senate first because it's a Senate bill. They would do an override vote. They'd send it to us. We would do an override vote, and that's how the law would get made. If we have the votes to override those vetoes. I don't know that we do. So in conclusion, what I want to say is this. I've done what I can do. I have put forth articles of impeachment. Very reluctantly. I do not want to do this. This is a last resort because nothing else has worked, and it doesn't appear that anything else will work. Based on what the governor is saying, this is going to go on, who knows, maybe forever. The masks are going to go on for as long as the virus is around. How long is that? All these restrictions are going to, stay in place until it's a vaccine. Oh, that might never happen. So there is no end in sight. And the governor has even used those words, no end in sight. So there is no end in sight to his tyranny, to his dictatorial powers. So there is something we can do. We can impeach the governor, sign in or swear in Lieutenant Governor Houston to be the next governor. So this is up to you, the people, to get involved, get engaged, go to ImpeachDeWine.com, reach out to your state representative and ask them to sign on, be polite, be nice, ask them to sign on as a co-sponsor to the articles of impeachment. They know how to get a hold of me. So please be involved, be engaged, and I'll be doing these updates periodically, and I'm kind of experimenting with the technology of how to do this. So I'm using a different camera this time than last time, and I'm still having audio issues. It's not as sharp as I would like it to be, but this isn't my world. I don't do media and entertainment and audio visual. I'm more of a policy guy, so I'm learning. Not my world, but hopefully I'll get better as I do more of these. So anyway, again, I'm John Becker, and if you want to contact me, it's rep65 at ohiohouse.gov. Have a great day. Bye-bye.